You don't bleed out all at once. You bleed in silence through the illusion of control. That's what happens when MSP founders hold on to sales like a lifeline long after it stopped saving them. You tell yourself that you're building relationships, that you're closing warm referrals, maybe even staying close to the client, right? But what you're really doing is hiding from a skill gap that you don't want to admit, hiding from the friction that comes from letting go. Most MSP owners operate in a familiar loop. The referrals roll in, you handle the pitch, the client signs, and you call it sales. And it looks like success, but it is not sustainable or scalable or strategic. And as Gene put it,
getting warm referrals and telling this customer what you do for their friends and then them closing doesn't signify that you're actually a salesperson or a good salesperson. Myself included, to many MSP owners, we're not trained salespeople.
See, sales isn't order taking. Sales is belief transfer under pressure. It's creating motion where there was none. And most MSPs have not done that. But the real trap isn't tactical, it's emotional. See, founders conflate sales with self-worth. So what happens when you try and hand it off? You sabotage your own sales hire, right? You micromanage it. You say, they're not closing it like I would. But that is not the real reason. The real reason, letting go of sales forces you to confront how much of your perceived value was tied to being the hero in the deal. This isn't a hiring problem. It's a weight problem. And you're asking your business to lift something that your identity cannot let go of. Let's draw it out. Now, the weight of your ask model is just a seesaw. And on the one side, we have the ask. And in this scenario, that happens to be letting go of founder-led sales and everything that goes along with it. On the other side, you have value. And on top of that, we're really talking about a number of different things that real sales requires, right? Trust, clarity, and systemization of what you've built, right? All of that balances on the fulcrum. And in this case, what we're really talking about is identity. Right now, most founders, you're sitting on one side yelling, just close that deal, while the seesaw flips and tips violently from mistrust and micromanagement. The solution isn't finding a unicorn closer. It's earning the right to let go by stacking real weight on the other side. Documented beliefs, clearly defined process, clarity on what it is you actually sell. Maybe more importantly, what you do not. Otherwise, your ask is just too heavy and it breaks whoever you put in that role.
And so that's something that I'm really looking forward to ending off this quarter.
When Gene stepped back from sales, it wasn't because he found the one. It was because he actually stopped treating sales like a performance and started treating it like a transferable system. He shifted from sales heroism into sales as a process, from founder value to system value, from warm intro dependence to cold start conviction. Now, he can actually grow because the ask matches the trust he's built into the system.
I think a lot of us start from a way that's like very reactive based. And I think that a lot of the selling that we find is also reactive.
I want you to ask yourself this question. Have I earned the right to get out of sales? Not by hiring someone, but by making the role survivable, by replacing founder intuition with clarity, conviction, and tools. So you don't need to be a better closer. You just need a better fulcrum. You thought that you were the secret to sales, but you were actually the limiter because the ask was heavier than the trust you'd built beneath it. Gene didn't escape sales. He dismantled the illusion that he was the sale. That is the weight of your ask, and that is where freedom begins.